never heard of credit, right? I didn't know what it was. But I did know that when I turned 17, I think it was JC Penney sent me a card in the mail. Apply here. I didn't even know that I had an option to say no. I was just like, oh, this is adulting. This is what you do.
Yep.
Sign up for stuff, you know?
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, because I remember going through people's wallets and seeing like, is like the different cards. And I was like, oh, this is what they mean by adulthood, you know?
This is it.
At home with my mom, still making a little bit of pennies, and I get a card. And then I get another, then I move out, and then I get another card. You know what I'm saying? So my first introduction was, okay, you don't have nothing on your credit, but I never knew that that was going to damage me for life. Like that one decision of unawareness and no knowledge of what it was, because it was not taught to me. I didn't know the value of maintaining it, you know? And yeah, so for y'all, what was your very first, I know you kind of said it, Modi, but if you had something else to add, but Sharonda?
I think my first interaction with credit was when I was in college. I think I was a senior, and daggone First Premier sent me one of them starter credit cards. And then, you know, they charge like a startup fee. So they would give you like a $300 limit, charge you a little fee to start up, and then you would use it, and then you get your credit card balance. And then it would say, oh, okay, well, this is your available limit. This is how much you owe. But you pay the minimum. Oh, okay. Not knowing that, okay.
I got that.
Yes. So knowing that, okay, when I paid my little $25 minimum, $17 would go towards interest and $8 would go towards my balance. And of course, I'm in college. I'm supposed to be able to apply basic math, but it just didn't make sense to me. You know, so that was my first interaction. Like this, I just don't know about this. And then they up your limit, so that means you can spend more. And then it's like you end up owing more. So that was my interaction, just not really understanding. And to a shame to ask some family members, what does this mean? Because I didn't want them to know that I had a credit card.
Right.
Exactly.
Because I didn't want them to convince me to use it for them.
Protecting your own finances.
Listen, that's a thing. That's a real thing.
I understand. Go ahead, Monique. Were you saying something? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I guess it's another interaction, because there wasn't that many interactions with credit. It's like I spent it 17, then I was doing all these other things, and it wasn't until I was 24 and I was trying to buy a home, and that might have been like the first time like my credit was really like pulled and I was considering it for anything. Before that, it was just like, oh yeah, I'm applying for this card, I'm applying for that card. But when I went to purchase a home and was able to see all these things on my credit, and how that was the first time that I really understood like how it worked and how it impacts me for things, the bigger things, or just how it stays with me and how it changes and how it works and all those things. But it's interesting now thinking about it, like I was 24 and really that was the first time that I had to really take a look at it. And similar to you, like I couldn't really talk to my family about it. I was working with an agency. You know, now it's very different, but at that time, like nobody was talking about credit or fixing your credit or why. Like it was kind of like, why do you want to fix your credit?
You're 24, you don't need it.
Like you don't need it. Like, you know, like, and that was the thing, you know, so it wasn't valued, you know, so that was what I took from that experience. Before I bought my house, it wasn't valued. And then I started to understand the value a bit more when I was going to purchase a home. So, yeah.
As I was younger, I can remember just people graduating from high school and getting everything, having cars, having stuff, you know? And I'm like, wait, how are these people doing this or being so young and being able to get stuff, you know, and it never occurred to me until I can remember being at my goddaughter's graduation, and there was a person, like, they were getting their child, giving them a car with a bow on it at the graduation, right?
Wow.
And that made me start researching, like, wait a minute, like, I ain't getting no car with no bow on, you know, like, what is the difference?
Hello.
They were not of our persuasion. And I'm like, what is the difference? And how can I do this for my child? You know, when they graduate from high school, I want to be able to give them this kind of life, you know what I'm saying? This experience, to show them something different. I know for me, I'm very big on giving my kids an awareness. They're not going to be dumb when they're 16, 17. They're not going to get a credit card and have no idea what it is. So for us, we're all parents. What ways are you imparting that financial literacy into the lives of your children now?
I know one of the ways I am is because I have to speak to so many people. One, I'm working from home.
Yes.
And so as a loan officer, I have to speak to people about their finances and their credit all the time. And our daughter hears me in having these conversations. She's even picked up some of the vernacular that we use in our industry as far as like credit, debt to income ratio, and she's 9. You know, and credit scores. So she's learning in that way. And then also with my husband and I, when we have our conversations, sometimes she's around, sometimes she's not. She gets the opportunity to sometimes overhear what her father and I discuss in regards to finances. And they've also heard the bad, unfortunately. You know how sometimes you want to shield your children from certain things? Right. I'm like, at some point, they got to learn.
Exactly.
No. And especially at that point when my husband and I were like really, really on the up and up and all that, she noticed the differences in how we interacted with each other.
Right.
Because in my mind, I was thinking, okay, when mommy and daddy talk about money, they're always arguing.
Yeah.
I did not want our daughter to go through the same thing and thinking that talking about money was always going to lead to an argument or always lead to some tension in the house.
Right.
You know, so that is an example for me. She sees it.
Right.
Yeah. That's so important. That's so important, I think, to see it, to hear it. And just like you said, even the good and the bad, all of it is learning. You know what I mean? Not acting like everything's perfect. We have everything, you know, but seeing all of those things, I think, is conducive to growth and just a better understanding. So when they are adulting, they don't go out there just, you know, willy-nilly, not knowing nothing and just going off a whim of what they think. I think one of the ways for me, definitely talking about it is important. My daughter, she's just turned 6, so she's little. But I try to teach her what it means to earn money, how to save it. Once she gets it by doing chores, how to save it, to give it, to spend it, how to save up for things that she wants to do, whether it's before the pandemic, going to Sky Zone. Okay, you need to save up $17.50 or however much it is. You know, for her, she was 5 at the time. You know, it might take some weeks, a month or whatever, because you're getting $1 a chore. But, you know, just understanding what that process looks like. That money is a tool that you can use to get the things that you want. It's something that you can use to give and bless other people. It's something you can save if you want. You have ideas or things you want to do, bigger things, you could save it. But just giving for her just the foundational traits or characteristics of you know, good financial fitness as you grow and as you become an adult, to try to form habits to do that. And as you know, Shana, but you may not know, I also created little workbooks for little kids like my kids. Ooh, I only got one, Lord. My child, Money Matters. Which,
we can't see it. Can you hold it up better? And
oh yeah. Yeah. So, yep. So 2 workbooks so far, but one is just about coins and actual money. To just teach them like what money looks like, get familiar with the money, recognize what money looks like for younger kids. And then one talks about needs and wants, which is so important when we're talking about finances. Just at their level, what is the difference between a need and a want? How does that relate to your life? What emotions are provoked by when you don't get things you want? You know, and what are the things that you need? So just kind of incorporating fun ways to teach the foundational, or I would say like foundational financial literacy. So you're not actually talking about money, actual numbers, so to speak, but the character traits and the attitudes and what's needed to kind of build upon that financial fitness is something that I do.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I was telling Shana the other day, you know, with our daughter, sometimes we go to the stores, like if we go to Target or something, and she's like, Mommy, she sees something she wants, Mommy, can I get this? And I'm like, no, we didn't come here for that. I don't have the money for that. And then she would say, well, can't you just use your credit card?
Hello, exactly. My daughter said the same thing. You have money.
Like, first of all, mind your business.
Hello.
Secondly, just because I have access to money doesn't mean that I'm going to spend it. You know, so I haven't, and I said, I got it, but no, we didn't come in. You got some toys at the house. Appreciate what you have.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So, but here's another thing that I realized. She learned based off what she sees me do. When we're in the store, I buy and I swipe my card. So she always thought that I have money and I just use it.
So yeah, like it's just here.
Do that too. Sometimes
that's my son.
Yes.
He had a lesson. He actually went to the store. He had $20. He was agreeing to purchase things for his sister. Other cousins were like, can you get this for me? And I think when he left the store, he had $1 and some change. And he came to me, he said, Mom, I'm never spending the whole thing again. Like, he was like, I don't want to just have this much left out of $20 because I did all of this stuff. And I'm like, which led to him being, he's an avid saver. Like, my son saves money. He doesn't want to spend it. He broke his sister's toy the other day. I said, you'll buy her another one. She breaks my stuff all the time. Why do I have to pay? You know, and I'm like, because you broke it and you have the money. She never pays me for stuff.